Coming up, a flood survivor who had her legs amputated last year details her life in a camper that is too small for her wheelchair. And the primary election filing deadline has come and gone in Kentucky, and one notable person did not sign any paperwork. More on who will battle it out for the title of governor coming up.
Plus, some showers return to the region as we head into the weekend, when we expect to see those best rain chances coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Flood survivor Stephanie Jones lost her legs a year ago after battling sepsis, a deadly response your body can develop from an infection. After losing her home in July in the flood, Jones now lives in a travel trailer where getting around without her legs has become even harder. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us how Jones and others around her are doing their best to make her situation livable.
I got it. Come on.
This is not the first time Stephanie has had to scoot across a wooden board.
Every day at usually 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm doing that because it's a long drive and confusing drive to get to my therapy and stuff.
Stephanie's cousin Michelle takes her to therapy, but when they get back to the camper, crawling becomes an all-day exercise.
To be honest, if you weren't here, I'd be down on the floor in probably a pair of boxers and a t-shirt, scooting. I've got that. Well, it was there. I've got a sheet I keep under me so I don't get nothing on me. You know, I'm not getting exposed to bacteria or germs.
Her wheelchair can barely move inside the trailer, and it cannot fit through the doorway.
You know it
I
don't
mean,
fit.
this way, baby.
Well, yeah, that's what we're showing, is that it doesn't matter how you push it. No, you won't go. See, I just need, and she needs more than me. I feel like it's just me fighting for you, babe. But
I needed you
to concentrate on healing instead of having
to. Only wanted to help me. I mean.
About 10 minutes later, their prayers answered. A semi-truck from ARH Disaster Relief appears with a new ramp.
When we found out, we just started. That was a couple days ago, and we started working on it to get her a ramp.
No more scooting across the wooden board, but what about getting Stephanie's wheelchair through the door?
We're going to try to look for different resources and hook her up with definitely a better way to make that safe, secure, and the best thing for her.
Even though there are still many steps to take before Stephanie can feel comfortable again, the family is thankful for the finished ramp and what on-site organizers have done to help. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Watt says they are hoping to find a transfer board that can take Jones's wheelchair from the camper to the ramp and hopefully at some point a better living situation overall.
Well, a dry day today. It was actually a pretty beautiful day throughout the region, and even at this hour, we're looking at pretty nice conditions out there, and that has helped us with the Kentucky Blood Center blood drive out front of the station. One more look at that out front. You see plenty of cars still out in our front parking lot. You've got just less than an hour to head on out and donate some blood out there. I know they're giving away some hoodies out there for some folks. Hope they still have some of those. I haven't checked in a little bit, but 41 here in Hazard. Temperatures in Whitesburg similar with those pretty nice sunset in progress. A few clouds continue to scoot in. Low to mid 40s region wide. Winds not too bad. Light on the light side, about 3 to 5 miles per hour out of the west. Few clouds across portions of the Big Sandy today. That's what's kept us a little cooler up there as we go zone by zone. Around freezing, just a degree or two above and below in the Cumberland Valley into the Kentucky River Valley. We're all right around freezing, and into the Big Sandy we'll continue to see those temperatures upper 20s and low 30s. Details on a return to some showers in the forecast in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers are going home after finishing the first 4 days of the session. When they return, they will have a lot of issues to discuss and pass, such as income tax reductions, budgetary tweaks, and possibly one dealing with the ban of using cell phones while driving. The sponsor of that bill says it's not a new bill, but has not received much support in recent years. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what the legislation will and will not allow.
Representative James Tipton says this will be the third year that he's tried to advance a bill to ban handheld use of cell phones while driving.
I think 5 of the 7 surrounding states around Kentucky have already passed this legislation or something very similar to it, and I'm hoping that 2023 will be the year we'll get House Bill 12 across the finish line in Kentucky.
He's calling it the Phone Down Kentucky Act and says it's based on numerous cases of distracted driving in Kentucky.
But the problem I see is people get that phone in their hand, they get lost in that phone or that device and what they're doing, and it does not take but a second or two for an accident to happen.
This is a good step. It's a good measure.
Bluegrass AAA supports the bill, and they say that most people in Kentucky and across the nation do as well.
So I think people are really concerned, and so certainly from a AAA standpoint, we see this is still a major concern traffic safety-wise.
If past drivers would face fines on the first, second, and third offenses, possibly pay $100 to $200, and could face losing points on their licenses.
We prohibit the holding of a phone or any type of device on any part of your body, in your hand. Basically, with the increase in technology, we have Bluetooth technology now. Many people have that option.
Distracted driving is right up there with drunk driving. So, you know, we've been telling people don't drive intoxicated, but don't drive intoxicated either.
If passed, the bill would not take effect until January of next year. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
AAA says about 70% of Kentucky drivers support a law banning the use of cell phones while driving. The field of candidates running in the May primary is set. The election filing deadline was 4 o'clock this afternoon, and one of the most highly contested races is the one for governor. Incumbent Governor Andy Beshear is running for re-election. Pepe Martin and Jeff Young are the other 2 Democrats in the race. It's a very crowded field on the Republican side, with 12 people vying for that spot. Those candidates include Daniel Cameron, Jacob Clark, David Cooper, Kelly Craft, Eric Dieters, Bob DeVore, Mike Harmon, Alan Keck, Dennis Ray Ormerod, Ryan Quarles, Johnny Ray Rice, and Robbie Smith.
I think that this is probably the largest number of candidates have filed on one side of the primary since the 1970s, the late 1970s, when the Democrat Party was at their strength. And I think that really signifies a moment, a mile marker, if you will, for the Republican Party.
The Democratic Governors Association released a statement calling the packed GOP primary field the dangerous dozen, saying they are, quote, officially set for a chaotic battle over who is most extreme. Although former Governor Matt Bevin had a news conference, was more like a rant today, he did not announce a run for the office as many anticipated he would.
Well, coming up, showers back in the forecast. I'll break down the best timing and when you'll need to break out that umbrella coming up. Plus,
the people responsible for the damage have apologized, and for one Magoffin County park, the surveillance system in place appears to be working. And the Kentucky Blood Center blood drive happening outside the WYMT studios is winding down, but you still have some time to donate.